Okay, well, thanks so much for being with us tonight, you guys. Welcome to this presentation on the Healthy Living Revolution. You're going to be learning about how one simple change really can make a wonderful difference in your life. And the reason why we love to share this message of hope is because this has made a difference in our lives. I'm going to be sharing tonight with my really good friend, Katie Holyfield. And we also have a guest who's going to be sharing, Patti is going to be sharing with us a bit about her experience as well. So, but when we have understanding about something, you guys, we are then able to take action. If it makes sense to us, it sounds good, we're able to take action. And in this circumstance, to really protect one of the greatest gifts we have, and that is our health. Because when we have our health, we really do have abundance in every other aspect of our lives. We've got more energy, we're feeling better, we're just feeling good, and we're staying healthy, and we can do a lot more with our lives. So we hope that this is really a blessing to you tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so as a country, this is kind of the bad news to start with, but it's important that we look at this. So as a country, we really are unhealthy. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050. That statistic keeps going up, faster and faster with time. And 1 in 3 children is obese. 1 in 3 children is obese. Is that just not staggering? And this quote by Dr. David Katz says, "Our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined." Again, I mean, I don't, that just is just, I'm in awe. I mean, how can that be possible? But it is. That is so true of what's going on. So let's look at why. Why are we so sick as a nation? Well, we've got a lot of environmental toxins that are happening, and these toxins are increasing over time. For example, the pollution is so much worse today than it's ever been. There's water contaminants, there's pesticides, herbicides, insecticides that are being sprayed on our produce, that it's affecting our soil conditions. There's a lot of chemicals. Medications, we've got prescription medications as well as over-the-counter medications, skin and healthcare products, and plastics, more and more plastics. So we have to just be aware that this is happening. If we can protect ourselves from some of that, we certainly want to do that. And then our food quality is definitely decreasing. We have 80%, hold on one second here. I can't see the screen fully. I think it says, oops, 80%. Does it say 90? I can't see that. I think it's 90% of the food eaten in America is processed. We've got preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, synthetic vitamins, genetically modified foods. We have so much less nutrients in our foods today. Like I was saying earlier, there's so many herbicides and pesticides that are actually on the foods and in the foods. Trans fats, artificial colors, and growth hormones. So much going on with our foods and the processing of our foods that are causing us to be sick. And 80% of the foods at the grocery stores didn't exist 100 years ago. That 80%, that is a lot when you think about it. I mean, it used to be that you'd go grocery shopping, our grandparents just simply walking to the store. But now you think about the mega stores that we have, and it's very appealing. Of course, there's lots of sugar. Everything tastes so delicious and good, and it's appealing to our eyes. And yet it's so unhealthy. We have to be so careful about what we're putting in our body to fuel our body. And broccoli has lost 80% of its nutritional value, and that was in 2001, and that continues to decline. So we just want to be really super aware of this. So what can we do to be healthier? We only have one shot at life, right? We only have one go at life, and we want to be our best. We want to live it fully as possible. So we want to consider the variety of ways that we stay healthy. And the first one here is exercise. We need to move our bodies, our muscles, and our heart is actually a muscle. So we need to exercise our heart with aerobic activity, and then also weight resistance type working out. So and stretching. It's all very important to our bodies. We want to drink plenty of water. Water is good for every single cell in the body. So we want to consider, how much water are we drinking? Drink half of your body weight, at least, in ounces. Sleep is a time where our bodies are repairing, they're recovering, they're detoxifying. There's so much happening for the health of our bodies when we sleep, and especially for our minds. So we want to be sure to get that 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep. And we want to do our best to manage stress. We live in a very fast-paced, convenience-focused society, so stress is one of those things that we just want to really be aware of. Are we finding breaks during the day? Are we resting? Are we getting out and having fun? So it's really important that we want to manage that stress, because stress alone can cause disease in our body. And then the environmental changes are definitely a problem. As we talked about, we can control some of that by, using healthier products in the home, having an air purifier, water purifier, some of those things we can be aware of. And then eating real food. We want to fuel our body with the best possible fuel. And I am going to turn it over to Katie, who's going to be sharing with us more about that.
Yeah, we're going to focus tonight on that bottom right-hand rectangle, our diet, our fruits and vegetables. So it says here that 75% of diseases are preventable with good nutrition, and research is telling us that more and more. And so that means there's a lot that we can do to prevent disease and keep our bodies healthy. So let's talk about the bad news and the good news. The bad news is oxidative stress. And what is that? That's just your body aging. And so if you see this apple, the left side is all brown and yucky. It looks like it's been sitting out on the counter, and what's happening to it, it's oxidizing. And this is what happens in our cells every day, and it's caused by poor nutrition, medications, smoking, stress, toxins, a lot of bad things, but also some good things, right? Like exercise is a great thing, being pregnant is a good thing, but it creates more oxidative stress in our cells. The good news is that there are antioxidants that prevent this from happening to our cells, and that's what this pretty white apple on the right side is showing us. And it looks like it's been splashed with some lemon juice, and so it hasn't turned brown, and that's because lemons have antioxidants in that. So where do we find these antioxidants? We find them in fruits and vegetables. Look at all those beautiful, beautiful colors there. So the news isn't just that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they are so good that they could save your life, and that is true. They're chock full of these antioxidants. So let's see, how many do we need to eat every day? Well, it used to be 5 servings a day. Now they're saying you need more like 7 to 13 servings, and a serving is your fist, and you need to eat more than that, almost twice it seems, 16 to 18 servings for athletes, or if you're fighting chronic illness, you need all those servings. And why so many? Well, because our produce is picked early, before the produce can really vine ripen. Also, it's sitting in a truck for thousands of miles. I know at one of the stores I shop in, some of the things are labeled with dates. Some of the produce is labeled with dates, and the dates are usually 2 or 3 weeks sooner than when I'm in the store. So it's been sitting in a truck or on a shelf all that time, and the longer it sits, the more nutrients it loses. 90% of Americans do not eat enough servings, and we don't get the variety that we need, that beautiful, all those colors of the rainbow. So how about multivitamins, right? Is that a way that we could bridge the gap here? A lot of people try to do that to help their nutrient deficiency. And you can see a label here on the left, looks like a multivitamin, and there's some isolated synthetics there. But 70% of Americans are trying to fill their gap with a multivitamin. And the multivitamin has just a few of those isolated nutrients. But if you look at the apple, it's got 10,000 phytonutrients that work in synergy all together. It's how it was created to work. I was just listening to a scientist talk the other day, and she was talking about vitamin E and how maybe in the synthetic, like in a multivitamin, it may have the same hydrogens and carbons, but they're arranged very differently than they are in a fruit or a vegetable. And so our body doesn't even recognize them the same way and doesn't absorb them in the way that it would if you actually we're eating a real piece of food, real fruit or vegetable. And I thought that was pretty fascinating. There's also organizations now that are coming out and saying not to eat, not to use multivitamins. American Cancer Society, American Heart Association, American Pediatric Association. I won't read the whole list, it's kind of long, but those are 3 big ones that are telling people do not do that. But instead, the research is showing that whole foods are doing the job to protect our body. So it's not that we are nutrient deficient, we are whole food deficient. And I'm gonna segue into telling you guys a little bit about my health story here, because I was trying to use supplements and multivitamins at one period in my life to, you know, repair some disease in my body. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with leaky gut, which is a precursor to autoimmune disease. And what is leaky gut? It's just stress, toxins, and food that enter your body. They damage your small intestine, and it allows toxins to leak into your bloodstream and cause a myriad of symptoms. And so stress is one of those: stress, toxins, and food. I had all 3 of those going. I had stress. We were a military family who moved, you know, every 2 or 3 years. It was a very stressful period in our family's life for those 2 years that we lived in a certain place. There were toxins. It was kind of a wet, cold place. And so there was a lot of mold, and I was using a lot of harsh chemicals trying to beat down all the mold and mildew and breathing in all those harsh chemicals. And then food. I thought I ate healthily, but I didn't necessarily eat, you know, the French fries and the fast food, but I was eating a lot of processed food. So maybe not chips, but pretzels, which seems like a healthy choice, but still it's not real food. It's processed food. And it had a lot of sugary cereals and desserts and just a lot of sugar in my diet. So I was sick a lot my whole life. Had a lot of colds and crud. I thought that was normal. I think we know it's common, but not normal. And so this period of my life, I had constant colds. And then I started having IBS, and gynecological symptoms, fatigue, cold sores in my mouth. The fatigue was probably worse, though. It really just hit me like a hammer. And it lasted for probably a year and a half where I was just barely functioning, barely getting up and living life. It felt like life was living me. It felt jet lagged, kind of a lightheaded, dizzy. It was hard to just get up and do life every day. And thankfully, I found a functional medicine doctor who did help over many months diagnose this. And we changed my diet radically. I did an elimination diet for many, many months. And then I spent a lot of money on supplements and did this for many months, like I said, and no change. And then we moved again, like military families do, and I got a new doctor and more supplements, different supplements, a lot of money, and still no change. Months and months and months are going by here, still feeling really discouraged and feeling really sick, doing all the things that doctors were telling me. I was even reading online about, you know, from all the functional medicine doctors at the Cleveland Clinic, doing everything I could, but not feeling well. And this was a very hopeless kind of time for me. It was, you know, depressing, and really I share my health story with people because of this time in my life, because I don't ever want anyone to feel hopeless and discouraged like this. I didn't know anybody who'd had leaky gut or had these same symptoms, and so it was just a very lonely feeling. And I worried that there would be consequences from having this inflammation in my body for this long. So, you know, I told you I had moved in the middle of this, and I saw Wendy. I knew her from when we lived in Ohio before, and she said, "Oh, I know what leaky gut is. I've had that and some other autoimmune issues." And we got together, and she told me in her research she had discovered that what our bodies need are 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, and preferably raw. Raw is even better. And I had never heard this. In all the research I had done, I had really never heard anybody say they said eat healthily, but never this amount of nutrition in your body. So I thought, how in the world do you do that? That's a whole lot of fruits and vegetables. And so she introduced me to this product called Juice Plus. And it's just whole food nutrition. It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a gummy. There's 30 fruits, berries, and vegetables that are vine ripened. They're juiced, they're crushed, and they have their living enzymes. They're not heated, so those enzymes are alive in there. There's no junk, no sugar. It's grown, the growing standards surpass what organic standards even are. It's not a supplement, it's not a vitamin, it's just real food. And so I thought this was interesting, but I'm a skeptic, but Wendy shared with me that there's actual research done by major hospitals in universities, and she's going to share about that later. And so I thought, okay, I'll give this a year. I'm going to try it. So the first 4 months, I noticed that I just wasn't getting as many colds and viruses. And, you know, that was 4 years ago. So I feel like the longer I'm on it, the stronger and stronger I'm getting. But I could just tell in those first 4 to 8 months, I was having less cold viruses. And then after 8 months, 8 or 9 months, that horrible fatigue went away. And I was so grateful to feel like I was alive again and I was enjoying life and I wasn't, you know, avoiding social things, you know, as I was worried I'd feel bad if I got somewhere. And so I really felt like I had my life back, and it was a gift. It was just a gift. And I think really I just needed a nutritional boost to help my body repair and heal and then to stay well. I learned that I cannot out-exercise bad nutrition, because that was kind of my mantra for many years of, oh, I can eat whatever as long as I exercise and my weight is good and things like that. But I realize now that that's not true. And I also thought, you know, if my blood work looked good, and like I said, you know, you weigh the right thing, then you must be healthy. But I know that that is not quite the whole story. So I told you before, I was worried that there would be consequences. And the month that I deemed myself well, I had my happy 40th birthday mammogram, and they found stage 1A breast cancer, and it was a shock to me. And you know, I was stunned, but the doctors all told me, you know, you have great markers, it's slow growing. This is a really good prognosis if you have to have something. But cell cancer is a fierce society, right? And but the interesting thing was that I felt great through my cancer treatments. I had a lumpectomy and radiation, and I took an estrogen blocker for 2 years, and I really did feel well during those treatments. And I think it's just because I was flooding my body with fruits and vegetables. And all my cancer doctors said, oh yeah, Juice Plus, that's good stuff, keep taking it. So it was good to get their thumbs up on that. Looking back, I see that God really blessed me. It could have been so much worse. He taught me so much through that time, that whole, you know, 2 or 3 years of just, you know, hardship. But really grateful for how he showed up in my life. And I want to tell you guys about my kids too. We have a program called Healthy Starts for families. And if an adult takes Juice Plus, a child can get it for free for 4 years. They just have to be between the ages of 4 and undergraduate college. And so I had Maggie join me when I first got on, when I first started eating Juice Plus. And she had, like me, less colds, no antibiotics. When she did get sick, it just was not as long. It was shorter lived. And then about 2 years later, her older sister said, no, wait a minute, you and Maggie aren't sick very often, and I'm the one that's sick, and I want to be using Juice Plus too. So she actually put it on her Christmas list. She's a smart cookie, and she knew if she put it on her Christmas list, her daddy would have to say yes. So her dad, my husband, started eating Juice Plus as well, and we put her on the Healthy Starts. And one thing that I'm really noticing is that we have a greater palate for a wider variety of produce now, because you crave what you put in, which is called metabolic programming. So we're eating a bigger variety of fruits and vegetables. And those of us who had skin issues or constipation issues, we don't have those anymore. This has really helped me with my food cravings and addictions. It just started as one simple change. At first, I did not change everything in my diet. In fact, I was adding back things into my diet. I was adding things back into it. And so I did not change everything. I just had this one simple change, which was to take these capsules every day. And over time, it's just turned into better habits. Instead of restrictions, I feel like I have such a better toolbox of healthy habits. So I will come back to the omegas, that orange bottle, in a minute. I wanted to show you guys this slide for Healthy Starch. And this is just a survey that parents have filled out and said how their kids are doing. There's less antibiotics, less doctor's visits, just healthier. You can look at those stats and see that kids are really benefiting. And there we have a gummy. It doesn't just come in capsules. It comes in a gummy or chewable that children love. So I want to tell you about our yummy smoothie powder that we have called Juice Plus Complete. It's vegan, non-GMO, gluten and dairy free, 13 grams of protein, which is a wonderful amount of protein. There's some powders out there that have kind of a crazy, dangerous amount of protein, but this is a wonderful amount, and it's got 8 grams of fiber, and it's low glycemic. And low glycemic just means that your blood sugar, it keeps your blood sugar stable. And I was listening to Dr. Mitra Ray talking about how, how you get so hungry, you feel like you want to eat everything in the house all at once, but it's the fiber that keeps your blood sugar at a good level, keeps it from spiking. So if you're having these spikes and you're crashing, you're suddenly super hungry in the middle of the day, then you probably haven't eaten something with a good amount of fiber in it. And fiber also feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And we know that gut health is also brain health, right? We need to keep our gut healthy. If you'll see on this list on the left, the ingredients, and one of those is, the bottom, you'll see water washed soy. And there's been a lot of, concern about soy. And I understand that because I'm a breast cancer survivor, but there's good soy and there's bad soy. And this is the good soy. The good soy is the non-GMO and the one that has been water washed. And there has been so much research about this. So the safety of this and even the benefits of preventing breast cancer, or even for those who've had it. It's a very healthy thing. Okay, let's see. The next thing I want to tell you guys about are omegas, which is our newer product. And there's 10,000 medical journal studies that show the benefits of omega fatty acids in our body, especially to your brain, your heart, and your eyes. And so what makes ours different? Well, it's 100% plant-based, which obviously if you take a fish oil, it's from fish. This is completely plant-based. There's absolutely no fish. The omegas actually are found in the algae, not in the fish. It's just the fish eat the algae. So we've skipped the fish. We've gone straight to the source, to the algae. And most of them just have omega-3s, but ours have omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. And we're seeing wonderful results from this. Digestion, helping with inflammation, with skin, with joint pain. We just had our first research study come out on this because this is a newer product, and Wendy maybe will share with us about that. And lastly, what makes Juice Plus unique? Well, there's 3 things here I'll share with you. First of all, like we said, it's food. It's not a vitamin. It's not synthetic or isolated chemicals. It has a food label. The FDA recognizes it just as food. You can see no additives, no non-GMO, vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. Secondly, it's NSF or third-party certified. Whatever is on the label is actually what's in the bottle, and there's no contaminants. So like I told you before, there's stringent growing standards that are far and above even the organic standards. They're so fastidious with how everything is grown. And it's safe for all ages. The babies, put the powder, mom puts the powder on the finger and babies can taste it. It's great for pregnant women, it's safe for nursing, elderly, and NSF sport certified for pro athletes. So Olympic athletes use this all the time. So if an Olympic athlete will take it, then it's good stuff. And there are many who advocate and share with others about Juice Plus. And the third one is my favorite, and it's that it's the most researched nutritional product in the world. And Wendy's going to share about that. But I just love that we have over 4,000 doctors and then also other medical professionals who use Juice Plus, eat Juice Plus, and then share it with other people and recommend it to their patients because of this research that we have. So I'm going to let Wendy talk about that.
Thanks so much, Katie. I really love hearing your story. It's just so powerful, and it just makes me so happy to know that you are doing so much better. So, and that's what we see. We see lives being really deeply touched and changed. And so one thing that really set this apart for me, I was looking for research. So we have 20 plus years of gold standard research. And basically what that means is that it is randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. It's published in peer-reviewed journals, which is very, very difficult to get into any journal. But like the College of, I think it's the College of Cardiology journal. It's just very difficult to get in. So I just love that it's set apart in that way. We have human clinical trials that are very ethical and tested on the product themselves. So most things out there, when it says it has research most of the time it's going to be borrowed research. So if they say there's apples in a product, they'll just say that apples are good for you based on the research on an apple. So it's borrowed, not showing that the actual product itself and the apple that might be in that product, so to speak, is what is working. So I love that the product itself is what is used in these trials, and from leading hospitals and universities around the world. So if you take a look, we've got Brigham Young, Georgetown University, University of Graz in Austria, University of Birmingham, Yale University, Wake Forest, Vanderbilt University, MD Anderson College or Cancer Institute, just so many incredible universities. And for me, this mattered because I had been battling an autoimmune disease for about 10 years, 9 or 10 years. And I had reached a place where I felt like it was a critical turning point. Like I just said, God, I cannot keep going. I don't know how I'm going to raise these kids. I was homeschooling as well. And I just felt like I was in so much pain all the time. I had an autoimmune disease called fibromyalgia. I also had chronic sinus infections. I would get bronchitis very often, which would turn into, an infection, and a couple times had pneumonia. I had hypothyroidism, irritable bowel syndrome. I just felt like my health was falling apart. And I'm a retired nurse, so the only thing that I knew to do was to take medication, and I would see, to take vitamins and try different things. And it seemed like nothing was working. And so for me, it was a desperate cry to God for help. And I just said, I don't know what to do. I just can't keep going on this way. I don't know how I'm going to get through my life. And I felt from that point forward, in looking for answers, I was just guided to books about nutrition, talking to people about nutrition, asking a lot of questions, and from people that knew a lot more than I did, and was looking for answers. And I was very desperate to find answers. And so I'm so grateful. One particular time that I went in to see my chiropractor, which I was there often because my back was such a mess. And I felt like he said, Wendy, I feel like you can put your juicer away, because I was trying to juice, but it was so difficult. And he said, you've got to try this Juice Plus. It actually has research on it. And I said, I want to read that research, because I was reading that anything could be put on the shelves in the grocery store. Anything could be in the health food store, and nothing was regulated. So I didn't know if things I was putting in my body was actually working or not. And so I read, I think it was 10 studies that were out back then, read those studies, and I could not believe what I was reading. And I felt like this veil was being lifted as to why we are so sick so often, and what our cells truly need in order to flourish. And so just really started taking the Juice Plus. We got started as a family because my kids were often sick. My daughter had exercise-induced asthma. My son had ADD, and they both were often sick. And so I just knew as a family we needed this. And so with time, I noticed a difference pretty quickly. My irritable bowel syndrome cleared up within a month or two. I don't quite remember. It's been about 20 years now for me, but they cleared up pretty quickly. And that alone was huge for me. I felt like my sinus infections started going away. Really had far few colds in a year that next year than I had the prior year. And so I just started feeling so much better. And I would say it was 8 to 10 months for the autoimmune disease to really turn around to where I wouldn't have been diagnosed anymore. And that was just a huge thing for me. I felt like I was given my life back. And just with that came such a heart of gratitude. I kept telling everybody about it, just like when we have been to this incredible movie or we went out to dinner and we just love something. I couldn't stop talking about how I was given my health back. And so as I was sharing with people, I kept sending them to my chiropractor and his wife, really good friends of mine. And finally, they were just like, Wendy, you really need to consider sharing this as, do it as a business. And this is a mission that we're on to make a difference. And you're already making a difference. So I did. That's how I got started in sharing this mission, being on this mission and sharing this message. So very, very grateful for that. And the research truly is what set that apart for me. And I love how so many doctors are on board with it because it gets in the bloodstream. That means it's bioavailable. It's really more or less the produce is crushed and it is flash frozen and sent to the plant in California, where it's made into a powder. So it gets into the bloodstream really quickly. A lot of people have a hard time digesting fruits and vegetables, but this is pre-digested, so to speak. So it gets into the bloodstream, and at that point, it can go to work. And just like any fruit and vegetable that we eat, this is how it affects our body. It contributes to cardiovascular wellness. It supports immune health. It helps protect the DNA, which is huge. Reduces oxidative stress, like Katie was talking about. That's what leads to disease. So we want to lower that in order to stay healthy. It supports healthy skin and gums, a healthy inflammatory response, supports the quality of life in cancer survivors. That's the study that was done at MD Anderson. Improves metabolism in overweight boys, and supports lung health in smokers. Not that you should go out and smoke, or, definitely want to not smoke, but if you do, I mean, people that are smokers are, having better health because of Juice Plus in their body. So that's encouraging. I love this quote by Dr. Du Bois. He was one of the first speakers who I heard speak, and I remember him saying this quote: "There is nothing else available any place in the world, with or without a prescription, that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do." And I love that, and I really believe that that is true, because it's such concentrated, powerful nutrition. It goes to work and really takes action in our body. I also love the Tower Garden. This is the future of growing. So we have these products that we can add to our diet. They're very simple. They're very convenient. The Complete is delicious, and it's all giving us strength and power. But a lot of people still want to grow their own produce. I personally have a black thumb rather than a green thumb, so I love to grow on the Tower Garden. It's so simple. So you get to grow your own produce on this aeroponic gardening system. It's about 5 feet tall, this one that's shown here. And you can grow it on your patio. You can grow it in your kitchen. A lot of people have them in their kitchen. We have ours in our laundry room. And so you can grow it year round and have this fresh produce. I just go in our laundry room in the middle of the winter. It's snowing outside, and I clip away and, make this beautiful salad. It's just wonderful. So research has been done at the University of Mississippi comparing traditional gardening in the soil to the Tower Garden by Juice Plus. And what they found is that there is 30% more yield, and it grows 3 times as fast. So you can cut off a big head of lettuce and just know that that's going to come back pretty quickly. Usually within like 3 weeks, you're clipping off another head of lettuce. So it's just amazing that it keeps producing more and more. There's 98% less water used, which I love, and 90% less space, because you're going up. It's a vertical gardening system. And I really do believe that this is the wave of the future of gardening. It's on many different rooftops with restaurants. It's at the O'Hare Airport. They have a huge gardening system with tower gardens to feed and the produce to the different restaurants there. So keep your eye out. There's a lot of places where tower gardens are now growing the produce. So Juice Plus is very affordable when you consider a gourmet cup of coffee. So many people are running into Starbucks, they're getting that cup of coffee. Think about empowering your body with these 30 fruits and vegetables every day, the fruits, the veggies, and the berries for $2.38 a day. And the kids that can eat free, if they're between 4 and 18 or undergrad college students. The Complete is a delicious meal replacement, recovery drink for working out. I drink two or three of these a day. I just love them. It's for about $2 a day for that, and $1.10 a day to get those omegas in your body, which are so important for our nervous system. So we invite you to join us to get started on this product. It's amazing. It does empower you in just incredible ways. And I feel like it is the gift of hope. And I want to turn it over to my friend Patti, who's going to share getting started on Juice Plus, her experience. And Patti, if you could unmute your line there. I can unmute you. Okay, wait. There you go. You're all set.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my story starts with a desire to be healthier and to lose some weight. Last winter, I got on the scales one morning, and the number that I saw looking back at me was shocking. So I signed up for a weight loss program. They really pushed fruits and vegetables. Logging the meals showed me that we weren't eating enough vegetables or fruits. In fact, the recommended amount seemed impossible. Then I heard about Juice Plus. The vegetable and the fruit capsules are giving us the recommended daily amounts. My husband and I are both taking the trio. Um, it's not been too long for us yet, but since starting about 6 months ago, I've begun to notice some positive changes in our health. For one thing, something that I believe Katie mentioned, we kind of crave better food now. So we are actually cooking more fruits, or excuse me, more vegetables than we did before. Um, I've noticed a decrease in my pain. I live with a lot of pain, and it's definitely less. And a huge increase in energy. Sometimes I scare myself. I almost go faster than my feet want to go because I just have so much energy. And I've even noticed my husband does too. He gets up faster out of the chair. And he asked me the other day, he said, I don't understand why I'm not tired. So, and even I've noticed some skin changes. So I'm excited to share this Juice Plus with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patti. Really appreciate you sharing. And one of the things that we love is that this community is all about making a difference. We have incredible resources that we want to make sure that you are aware of so you can get on and grow in your health and your understanding. The website is the healthylivingrevolution.com, and we'll make sure that you have that. You can get with the person that invited you to the call in order to get that website. But there's salad in a jar meal prep so that you can layer your salads up, have them in your refrigerator. They're usually good for 4 or 5 days out. So there's recipes for those. There's email recipes that you can get, these cookbooks that are just fabulous. Start Strong Kids program and ideas for children, and monthly health webinars that we'd love for you to take a look at and learn more. They're more specific to health situations that might be going on. So this company has been so much more than I could have dreamed or imagined. So their mission statement has been to inspire healthy living around the world and to build a stable and lasting company that helps as many people as possible realize their dreams. And this is our president, Jay Martin. He's been the president for almost 50 years now. Just an amazing guy and founder. And I had no idea that I was looking for a company like this. I had no idea the integrity behind the product. It makes sense to me when I think about the product and the research. And then as soon as I started learning more about the company, I was just blown away. I really wasn't looking for a business. I was just looking to make a difference in not only my life, but other people's life. But then along with that came so much. And I just want to really briefly just share a little bit about that. This mission is very unique because this product is unique and very powerful. It has a food label, so it doesn't have a supplement label. So it's not a vitamin, but it's food. It's actual food. So we're filling the gap for people as they take this with real food. It has an NSF certified, as Katie talked about, most pre-researched product of its kind in the world. It's doctor recommended by so many, like thousands of doctors. It's the largest selling nutritional product of its kind, and kids are eating Juice Plus for free because of the Family Start program. As a company, it was founded in 1970. We're now actually in 29 different countries. We are a part of a huge movement of wellness. And so I feel like we are really the healthcare movement. Rather than sick care, we are about the health and wellness of people's lives. And we're a $16 billion company in sales. And I feel like that is just shows that we're product driven. The Juice Plus business, it's just $50 to get started. You really can work from anywhere. It's a very simple product line, which I feel like people are looking for that. They're looking for ways to fill the gap of what they tend to not get in their diet. So it's all very consumable. It's residual income. You can be part-time, full-time. There's no pressure. There's no inventory. It's very low overhead. So I love that. There's just no stress. We just share this with other people and gift them with it. There's business websites and support to help you. Plus, you have a community of people that rally with you in helping you get started. The positions are permanent, so that you never fall backwards or have to meet those quotas. There's no glass ceiling, so the sky's the limit. And the benefits package is really rivals any Fortune 500 company out there. It's amazing, with full dental, medical, life insurance, long-term disability, chiropractic care, eye care, just so much more. It's amazing. So the company behind the product, just so you know, is very high integrity. And I feel like that also adds to the value of the product and all the research that's been done on it. So we would love, in closing, to have you join us in getting healthy, to really empower your body with more health and wellness, and getting started on the product. If you're interested and this makes sense to you to share it with other people, we'd love for you to join the mission as well. And we, again, are inspiring healthy living around the world. So please do join us. Get with the person that invited you, and I know that they'll be able to help you get started, okay? So have a great evening. Thanks so much, you guys.